just taking a look at her testimony, it seems that she has totally absolved herself of any involvement na parang kumbaga, ni-refer lang niya to si Edelberto Leonardo sa dating presidente. But she has been pinpointed as one of the masterminds in the killing inside prison by Arturo Las Cañas, corroborated by other Quadcom testimonies. I mean, how eligible is she to become a state witness, given her level in all of this, in the whole system?
Well, while Garma's testimony is quite significant, her potential role as a state witness remains to be seen. To be considered as a state witness, Garma must meet first the qualifications outlined under our current laws, particularly the Witness Protection, Security, and Benefit Act. This law outlines a strict criteria, no? And first and foremost, the person seeking to become a state witness must not appear to be the most guilty. In which case, as you correctly pointed out, she is trying to make it appear that she is not the most guilty. But second, the testimony of the potential witness also has to be absolutely necessary to the prosecution's case. In other words, if without Garma's account, it would be extremely difficult to establish the facts to be able to secure a conviction. So Garma's inside knowledge of the operations could prove to be critical in painting a comprehensive picture of how the reward system allegedly operated. And then the other qualification is that the testimony must be direct and materially materially contribute, no, to the resolution of the case. The last qualification is that it cannot be hearsay or vague in nature. So we must be able to sift through her statements first, whether in the hearings or like she read in the hearings, the form of an affidavit, to see which ones are actually legally hearsay or which ones would be admissible in court. So these are the qualifications. So her admission into the witness protection program is actually far from automatic. It will require a very thorough evaluation by the WPP to determine whether she can actually play this role of state witness.
I think the quads also mentioned that they need corroborative evidence to what she's, claiming. Some of them, at least. How does it complicate the picture for you guys now that Senator Bato de la Rosa wants his own parallel investigation into the war on drugs over in the Senate? I mean, will you be waiting for that too?
Well, of course, we have to afford the respect to a co-equal branch. No? At the end of the day, they were all elected by the general public. So we have to give that parliamentary respect to the office, no? The Senate and the Congress, which is why, well, for us, the Quadcom has done such a great job in getting to the bottom of a lot of these issues. The 4 committees coming together has proven to become, I would say, a holistic approach or method to really sift through the issues. No, if the Senate also wants to investigate the same issues, then of course they are by all means entitled to do that. And I don't think Senator Bato and Senator Bongo are the only senators. There are 24 of them, and they are all also, I'm sure, welcome to join the Senate hearing. So, we're not in a position to give opinions about how these committees are composed of or are structured and how they go, but we will afford all the respect to our co-equal branch.
Yeah. Asik, I'm curious, before this series of Quadcom hearings, what was the state of the DOJ's investigation into the drug war? I understand you have been investigating it, but nothing specific has come out of it. How was it doing before the Quadcom hearings, and how do you expect the series of hearings, which I think you pretty much answered already, to move everything forward?
Well, there are 2 aspects to the investigation on the drug war. The first are the specific cases, which, as mentioned already by the Secretary, there have been difficulties in getting witnesses. No, a lot of them are still very afraid for their lives, but we have ventured into a lot of dialogue with civil society organizations, and there is already a very big improvement in the comfort level of these CSOs to come forward. No? That's one, the specific cases. The second one is to look into the systematic way within which this drug war operated in. And the secretary had also already said that there was a quota system in the PNP. No? It is an unspoken, I guess, method or approach to the drug war where a lot of these police stations had quotas that they had to reach. And the secretary was not afraid to ask the PNP to immediately strike that down. In a lot of his initial pronouncements, as soon as he became the Secretary of Justice, when he faced the police, he was not afraid to actually tell them that, yes, he does know about this quota system and that it really does no good to society. Because this is really where planting of evidence is done, all these useless killings, police abuses. This is really the root, this quota system, because just so that they could reach the quota and have that sort of metric of success, they are left desperate to find ways to reach it.
But we do have corroborating evidence in the court to join the hearing, the testimonies in the hearings about this reward system. Do we have corroborating evidence?
Well, actually, there have been talks about it, but this was the first time that I guess direct evidence or direct testimony was actually heard, which is why we do eagerly await the report of the Quadcom
Right.
to be able to sift through the statements and to see whether
Right.
there is corroborative evidence. But as I mentioned earlier, when we were discussing the qualifications of a state witness, one of the qualifications or one of the criteria is that the testimony must be absolutely necessary without
Yeah.
corroborative evidence. Because if there was evidence that could stand alone, then the testimony of a state witness would no longer be necessary or absolutely
Right.
necessary. So
Right.
in a way, yes, you could have corroborative evidence to support the claims or the statements of former Colonel Garma, but not to the extent that it could replace her testimony.
Yeah. Atty Clavano, sorry, we're running out of time. Excuse me, there's a frog in my throat. But I do have a last question for you. We've got 30 seconds for it. 2 months ago, the DOJ ordered a thorough investigation into how Alice Guo escaped the country practically, well, illegally, but also without a trace. I wonder if you found out anything more since then.
Well, there has been a revelation from the Bureau of Immigration, which I think has already reached the media, where the passport bore the stamp of Kuala Lumpur on July 18 and the stamp of Sabah on July 19. Now, Kuala Lumpur is a landlocked area, which was her first destination as per her passport. So the DOJ is looking at the possibility that perhaps she had taken an airplane or a plane to Kuala Lumpur instead of a boat, which she claims to have gotten into.
Yeah.
No? And the Secretary of Justice has already mentioned that he does not believe the testimony of Alice Guo when she states that she took a boat
Yeah.
from I think that was Zamboanga or Zambales all the way to Sabah. So this passport and the stamps on the passport sort of corroborate the Secretary's theory.
Specifically, though, are we any closer to holding accountable those who helped her escape? I mean, there's been suggestions that there would be high-ranking government officials who would have had a hand in this. Are we any closer to finding out who?
Well, the investigation is still ongoing. I don't think I'm at liberty yet to share the operational details of the investigation, but rest assured, the investigation is in full swing,
Okay.
and we hope to get to the bottom of it very, very soon.
And I hope you break it to us first. Thank you so much for your time tonight. We appreciate that. DOJ Assistant Secretary and Spokesman, Atty Mico Clavano.